Pie. What a time to be alive.
And this is probably going to be very racist. Bonus
episode. Hooray.
It's the bonus.
Welcome, everyone, to the bonus episode.
Hey, everybody. We're here. What a time to be alive. Bonus. Better Show Month. We're at the conclusion of Better Show Month. There is no better person to be here for the conclusion of Better Show Month than the proprietor of the best show, Tom Scharpling. Everybody. Tom, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Oh, please, thank you.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
Not only is this the conclusion of Better Show Month, I would say it is the logical conclusion of Better Show Month.
Yeah. It's sort of really worked out perfectly. A perfect end. Yeah. I also love the. I love how it's evolved. Like the thank you for having me. Where like it's all virtual anyways. It's like thank you for giving me part of your bandwidth in an online chat room. But we just have to stick to these kind of like natural things that everybody says.
Yeah. It's we're learning how to become. We're all in the mainframe now. That's what life is now. So
yes, everybody's acting like they're next to each other when they're not. We're all completely isolated, and we're pretending that we're sharing something.
Yeah. We briefly discussed the kind of like pageantry that comes now with just everybody's so programmed to be like, "How are you?" and everyone's like,
"Bad."
Like, I don't know. What do you want from me? Like, yeah, it's hard to do.
Just we can make a cultural agreement. We all know how everyone's doing. You know, we don't need to discuss it. Just get on with it. You know, you don't have to. If you're sending emails at work, you don't have to ask. You know, just like let's just get to the thing. We all know it sucks.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I wonder if Cheers guys are still signing emails Cheers in this time of need.
Now more than ever. Virtual Cheers.
My coworkers all do best, which I think is very rude sounding.
Oh, I do best. I shortened best from all the best, which was
all the best is even more kind of insulting sounding to me.
Yeah.
It sounds sarcastic.
I
it has a real
from my
bless
mom
your
and my
heart
dad.
energy.
Yeah. Well,
best has a real bless your heart sort of like kind of catty Southern energy to me.
Okay, well, what's a good email sign off?
Goodbye.
I do stay safe.
Yeah,
stay
that's
safe.
a good one.
Stay safe is good.
Stay healthy.
You do that all the time, even beyond.
I've always written that. I'm scared everyone's going to die all the time. I need everyone I write to stay safe, whether it's somebody from register.com that I'm trying to straighten out a renewal. I still want them to stay safe.
Sure.
We just need to stay safe, everybody.
Yeah.
You
I have
never
a
know.
question, because I've heard varying things on this. I'm very when I worked like customer service, like I've worked at several sort of front desk situations, and I always say "have a good one," and people have told me that is rude. What is your thought?
It's not rude. I'd say it's like I could see how people think it's unprofessional.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't know. It's vague enough.
What was the type of job?
Like general front desk stuff. I've worked in a lot of like colleges and educational institutions. So I'm usually talking to like college kids.
Okay. How sad? What is on a scale of 1 to 10? How sad or anguished could the person you're dealing with be?
It's different. The college kids were usually fine. They were like very chill. Talking to their parents, I feel like have a good one could be incendiary because they would always be having like meltdowns.
Yeah. I feel like parents would automatically be mad because they want everyone they deal with to be like at least 40. Like they get mad whenever they have to speak to someone that's not.
Your employee told me to take it sleazy, which I think is inappropriate.
Yeah, I would not say. I would say have a good one to a harried parent might not land the way you would want it to. They're worried about the trouble their kid's going to get into the second they leave.
Yeah,
you're making it seem like the party starts as soon as they get out of here.
It was a lot of telling them that I couldn't tell them their kids' grades, so they were like very upset. Like I had to be like, you have to talk to your child.
That has some power. Like if I asked about my kids' grades and you're like, yeah, I can't tell you, but have a good one. It's like that sounds like they failed everything. Yeah, but
it sounds like a middle finger a little bit.
Yeah. I just never thought about it until someone was like, that's insane that you said that to people at a job.
Yeah. I would say if you worked at the sheriff's office in the town from the outsider, probably not great. People were wondering about their disappeared, slaughtered children. Probably not a have a good one situation. But
well, it's like it's a little bit like when people were. There was some annoying discourse about like whether it's okay for cashiers to say no problem or not. Remember that?
Oh, I definitely said no problem.
And it's like, okay, you know what? Like, would you want me to just say, oh, thank you, sir? Like, I'll kiss your feet for coming in to CVS and buying that.
I appreciate you bringing this up. This is the thing I have. I am one of those no problem, anti-no problem people, because sometimes they say no problem as if they did you a favor that they're not accepting compliments on.
Okay.
Where you can say just like, you could say, thank you so much, and then they go, no problem. It's just like, well, I didn't say there was any kind of problem here. You're not being generous by, you're not taking the weight of the problem off my shoulders and carrying, like, you're not being magnanimous with that. I feel like they create a dynamic where they are lowercase h heroes in their handling of the problem.
Okay.
They are kind of reframing the
exist.
situation to then make you feel foolish for thanking them.
Well, as if
like,
you're the problem. They're saying you're a problem, but I'm overlooking it.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if it's their job, where it's like, yeah, no, it should be no problem for you to resolve this. It should just be. I will say there's some times where I said no problem when there definitely was a problem. In my time at Trader Joe's, vaunted grocery store chain, like the lady who bought sushi and then tasted it and figured out she didn't like sushi and wanted us to returned it. I said no problem. There was a problem. That's insane behavior from a person, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt. And I was just happy to be part of her journey to figure out that sushi wasn't for her.
Sure, so. But if I'm at a restaurant and I say, can I get a box to take the rest of this home with? And then they go, no problem. It's just like, yeah, well, it wasn't a problem. It was a situation. It was just, I don't know who else to ask here for the box. You're not hooking me up.
Yeah.
It's like the implication is like that you should be like, look, I am so sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
But is it possible for me to get a box for this? Something I know you have in the back and can immediately bring me.
Yeah, then you slide into some gladiator thumbs up, thumbs down action. They're just like, I'll allow it.
I'll bring it out, but I'm not putting the food in it, okay? You do that. That's the real problem.
Yeah, I don't want them putting the food in it.
It's not even folded up yet. It's just a flat-packed cardboard box.
Just give me the box. Yeah. I don't want you touching it twice.
I get very overwhelmed when I'm at a restaurant and they give me the tinfoil thing with the paper top and you have to, like, crimp the foil all around it. That's way too much work. I'll tip generously for that. Don't make me
full 2-minute job with folding that lip down. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I've always wanted to get, I don't know if it actually has ever existed, but I've always wanted to get the aluminum foil swan that appears in movies and TV shows. The sort of like weird, fancy doggy bag situation.
Is that like a Chinese place thing? Like a fancy Chinese, like a duck, like if you get like a Peking duck or something? I know a duck is not a swan. I understand. Do not foul-splain to me right now. But where would that even be? Like the only like. Is it like just like a really fancy restaurant and then you have to carry it out like that, I guess?
I don't know, but I appreciate sort of the implication here that they should make the foil into the shape of whatever animal the food inside comes from. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you get a duck, they should make it a duck. If you're putting a burger, if you're taking a burger home, they should have to shape the burger is inside the main cow, but then it has little legs that it stands on.
Right. It's like an aluminum bowl, like a bronze bowl, but for the burger.
Yes.
Yeah, they cook it in a bronze bowl. I'd like all my food to be cooked inside a bronze bowl, if possible, just a fire lit under it, cooked up.
I believe that would be idolatry, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, like the fun packaging. I remember in like one time I was in Europe and like in Italy, I guess McDonald's sells fried seafood, which is surprising, but it does do that. And when you buy it, they give it to you in a box that's shaped like a little crab doing clicky, doing crab stuff. And that did feel like a little dark and weird to get this just like crab filled with little seafood pieces.
I mean, in fairness, when I eat crab, it is a crab full of crab meat. That's usually how crab comes. They just bring you the whole crab.
That's accurate. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as extreme as this smiling cartoon chicken at a chicken place. You're going to eat a dead version of that chicken.
Selling out his brethren.
The classic pig mascot of a barbecue place that's excitedly inviting you in to eat his brothers and sisters.
It's like Mr. Peanut. Are they still doing that baby peanut? Are they still going with that, or do they give that up once the world collapsed? Where do we know where we're at on that?
I don't know. I don't know if they had the runway planned past revealing the baby nut.
Yeah, that was not a. People don't have time for that now. Bring back. We want normalcy. We want the top hat, cane, Mr. Peanut. You can't raise a kid during all this.
Yeah,
yeah. He seemed confident and elegant and unflappable, and that's the kind of Mr. Peanut we needed right now. Now we're stuck with a dumb baby peanut. Can't help us.
Mr. Peanut, he was like overcoming the adversity of apparently having some kind of injury since he had a cane and everything. Like, he was an inspiring figure. And then
think about
it. Have a baby.
If it was World War II and suddenly baby Churchill showed up, right? Like, real Churchill was gone, and instead it's like, well, here's a 6-month-old Churchill will help navigate this war.
Candy cigarette, and he's we will fight them on the beaches. Not a lot of inspiration coming there.
Candy cigarette, perhaps a long pretzel stick being used as a cigar. Other option here.
Yeah, that would be allowed. Yeah,
that would be talked about in the workshopping of baby Churchill to raise morale. Absolutely,
just a very rude drunk baby. That's what we're going for. That everyone respects a great deal.
Just sucking on a little napkin soaked in scotch. I don't know what Churchill's drink of choice was, but
I think it just had to be wet for him. It just had to be wet. And then it was a drink he would drink.
Yeah. That famous quote where he was just really mean to some old lady. That was his classic. I'll be sober tomorrow, but you'll still be ugly. Or it's like, wow, we got her. That's it. That's what she gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The razor's edge wit of taking down an ugly lady that he did.
Take that, of course, dowager.
Yeah. And of course we would have, I'm now thinking of baby Taft being stuck in the sink where he was taking a bath.
Ooh, pretty good.
That's just a fun image. But if we want to do some stories, we do have actually restaurant etiquette is central to the first story we have here. This is from Food and Wine magazine, the number one magazine that's about food and wine. This is someone in Philadelphia who they're trying to support local businesses, of course, and so they decided, I'm going to order from a local restaurant, give them some money, do my part, also get some delicious pizza. And they placed an order on Grubhub from a restaurant called Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. But then when she received her food, she was slightly suspicious about where it came from. I don't know what indication that she got from either the packaging or maybe just the food itself, like its appearance or taste. But she texted her Grubhub driver, just curious, was this food from Chuck E. Cheese? And the driver responded, yes, that is what had happened. She ordered from Pasquale's Pizza and Wings, and apparently there is a local Chuck E. Cheese's that has changed itself to label itself on Grubhub as Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. Pasquale, of course, being a reference to Pasquale P. Pie Plate, who is the name of the fictional chef in the Chuck E. Cheese universe.
Okay.
So...
he's a member of Munch's Make Believe Band. I believe that's the name of the band.
So he's a chef and he's in the
drummer.
band.
He's the drummer of Munch's Make Believe Band.
He's
and I am not kidding you. Because this has brought me to the Chuck E. Cheese Wiki, which you should really check out. This is the description. Not only that, Pasquale P. Pie Plate is a character from the Chuck E. Cheese restaurants. He is an Italian chef as well as the drummer of Munch's Make Believe Band, and I swear to God, and an aspiring comedian.
Wow, there we go.
Just literally everybody.
He's got it all.
A hyphenate. He's very talented. What
Busy
can't
man.
Pasquale P pie plate. And also, I'm glad the P is in there so we don't confuse him with other Pasquale pie plates.
Yeah.
Right. There was already one registered and in his union, and he had to throw in the P to make sure.
Yes.
Well, he actually took his wife's name. So his wife was Pie Plate, and then he moved his last name.
Okay.
Oh, he's like a hyphenate.
Yeah.
Another in career and in last name.
What kind of animal is he? Is he just another mouse? I don't know much about
man.
Chuck E. Cheese.
He's a man?
He's an Italian man.
He's just a guy. Wow, that's pretty messed up. It's like, well, there's all these animals, including an Italian, another kind of animal in this band.
Yep. No, he's just an Italian man with a huge mustache. Unsurprisingly to anyone. I got a couple. Oh, Zoom doesn't. I don't think I can send images over Zoom, but I mean, if you guys really want, I can share my screen if you'd like. If you want to see kind of what's going on with Pasquale.
Give it a shot.
Sure.
Show me
Here,
Pasquale.
let me share my Chuck E. Cheese wiki window. So you can see here, this is the Chuck E. Cheese wiki. Enjoy the background. This is Pasquale. So he's recently been just kind of turned into like a very normal looking 3D Italian man.
He looks like he's in Clash of Clans. Like he looks like a Clash of Clans character.
Yeah. He's a Raid Shadow Legends character.
Okay, I remember him in animatronic form. He's like 80% mustache.
Yeah.
And he has creepy googly eyes that move back
He's
and
not
forth.
great.
He's
Yeah,
not great.
the animatronic version of him is horrifying.
Yeah.
It's not good.
That looks like he's from one of the the Conjuring movies. Like he would be in a case in their little side room where they keep all the. Do you watch the Conjuring movies?
Yeah. I watched Annabelle Comes Home on a plane, so I got it. Yeah.
He's married to Annabelle. That's his wife.
Sure. They just have
Annabelle pie plate.
They just have like a side room in their house that has the most horrifying relics of just pure evil, and they'll just put like a note on the thing, just like, don't open this case.
Yeah.
Annabelle's in here.
Hey, babysitter, don't go in this mysterious room. Anyway.
Yeah, that one babysitter, she could not mind her own business. She had to go in and try to get in touch with her dead father.
Yeah.
Let Annabelle out of the case.
I have a question about this wiki. Apparently, the part of the character stats for Pasquale includes a health meter, and he is listed as healthy. I don't know.
Health. Whoa, yes. Is
there somebody who's unhealthy? What?
Yeah. I mean, they're all unhealthy, if anything.
Gender, race, which his race is just human, which is they're not breaking it down too much.
That's actually really good of them, I think, to
progressive.
To realize that human is one race. I think.
And then there's health, listed as healthy, and then status alive, which is also just like foreboding about what happens to the other people.
Underrated is them giving his location as Chuck E. Cheese restaurant, which is everybody. But also, I'll stop sharing my screen, but I don't know if you noticed the bio, and this is all according to the official CEC website, which is their abbreviation of Chuck E. Cheese. They have like a whole story for him. He originates from Naples. Shortly after birth, his parents, Priscilla and Pietro Pie Plate, I would assume, immigrated to America. They immigrated to America and opened Pasquale's Pizza, which they named after him. And then the bio just keeps going way too far. Like, this is, I assume, an official wiki here, or whatever officials wikis get. Growing up, Pasquale isolated himself from sports and other activities to study the art of pizza making.
Okay, where is this put forth in the restaurant? Like, this is just like all really deep lore.
It's in the novelization of Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's some high school journalist interviewing the guy behind the prize counter at Chuck E. Cheese to get the deep.
As a kid, he used to deliver the big ice blocks around the neighborhood. He was that guy.
Yeah, and it's great that he really spent so much time studying the art of pizza making to make some of the worst food. He really went to school on how to make garbage pizza for overstimulated children.
Yeah, his family was actually chased out of Italy because they were going to get killed for making bad pizza.
He's not allowed back.
He figures out how to incorporate gummy worms into pizza.
Yeah. That was whatever that board they have in Naples. That's like there's like a real pizza board that'll give you the Neapolitan stamp of approval. Yeah, their inclusion of Reese's cups. They lost their medal and were evacuated or kicked out.
I'm sure the woman who ordered Pasquale's realized it when it came in Chuck E. Cheese boxes. Like, I doubt they're going so far as to like get a new graphic design for this. But I like to imagine she just knew as soon as she took a bite that it was Chuck E. Cheese. Like, that's what let her figure it out.
Wait a
because
minute.
it is trash.
Yeah. Well, it came with a bag of tokens, so she was suspicious immediately.
Came with some of those spider rings.
Yeah, and one of those sticky hands that you throw at the wall that's just covered in hair immediately. She got one of those.
Yeah. They made her... Go ahead.
I mean, she ordered from a place called Pasquale's Pizza and Wings, which right there, you kind of have waived the right to complain about food quality if you go to a pizza place that puts their wings in the title. You're just admitting you're just ordering drunk sop-up food if they promote wings in the title.
That is like a
Pasquale
warning
spelled
sign.
like rascally also. Not the Italian way.
Pasquale with a Y.
Well, all this, but Philadelphia comes through, and they find that not only is this all confusing, there is a genuine Pasquale's Pizza and Wings in that neighborhood in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Then that's just
a real
total
restaurant
bullshit.
Also. Yeah.
That's trademark infringement. Get them.
Yeah, that's shameful.
I do feel like it is a red flag, though, like, because, like in New York, a lot of times when you're ordering from Grubhub or whatever, it's a place you've never been before. And, like, you'll be scrolling through, like, a Chinese food menu, and then all of a sudden you'll get to, like, the pizza portion of the menu, and you're like, okay, this is not where I'm getting my food. Like, they have, like, some totally unrelated cuisine that they also do. And I feel like that's a very good sign to not order from a place.
Yeah, there was an old bodega near my old apartment that one day I walked by and they just had a sign outside that said, like, we have udon noodles. And I was like, why do you have udon noodles? It was such a strange... What made you think that's what you were missing as a business?
A truck broke down in front of their bodega.
Yeah, a big crate of udon noodles fell off and they had to use it.
I really like that this story on Chuck E. Cheese is covered in Food and Wine magazine. Like, I love the idea that, like, normally it's like the James Beard Awards and things like that. It's like, what do we got going on? Well, Chuck E. Cheese doing really innovative things with their nerd rope fusion platters they're putting out. Yeah, I love that. Because I picture everybody who works there, like, being like the guy from Ratatouille, like the old critic. It's just that's the Food and Wine staff, and they're like, Charles Entertainment Cheese is no chef, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Pete Wells' scathing review of Pasquale's Pizza and Wings really shut them down. I must ask, because when we were discussing this story, we were talking about weird local-ish Chuck E. Cheese knockoffs. I've already confirmed that neither Kath or Patty have ever heard of this, but Tom, are you aware of Jeepers? Have you ever been to a Jeepers?
No, I've not been to a Jeepers. What is Jeepers?
I wouldn't recommend it, but it does exist if you ever need.
All right.
If you ever wanted a Chuck E. Cheese with way less animals, it just won. The tagline for Jeepers being food, fun, and a monkey.
Just one monkey.
Yeah, named Jeepers.
Is he
Food,
a
fun,
live
and a
monkey or animatronic?
I think he's like a mascot monkey. My Jeepers memories aren't... I think he's like a big mascot suit monkey. And I think they have rides inside. They build themselves as an indoor theme park, which is generous.
So this is not
where are Jeepers franchises located?
The only one I can still find is in Lakeside, Michigan. But I remember one in kind of rural Maryland, I think. It's all monkey-themed. You can get on the Banana Squadron, where you can go wild bananas with their Flying Banana Squadron ride, which is just a couple bananas that spin around in a circle. I found Jeepers. I have found an illustration of Jeepers. It's weirdly it's a monkey wearing what looks like Army Navy surplus clothing, and that's that. That's Jeepers for you.
I don't know. Like, Chuck E. Cheese is a bummer, right? We can all agree. It's like if you're not, like, if you're over the age of 6, it's, like, kind of
I was going to say, if when you're a kid, it's, like, unimaginably amazing. I mean, we didn't have them by me, so I remember I would just get insanely jealous that people got to go there, even though I, like, bowling alley level pizza and a ball pit that's never cleaned. It's not exactly, but that's what you want when you're that age.
Did you have a regional one?
We had a place called Discovery Zone, which I think no longer exists, and I know you guys may have heard of that. I think at least one of you said you did. But I think, and it was the same type of deal, but there was no animatronic like band or anything. I don't think we had there was an arcade when I was a kid, the town over that called Arnie's that had a section that was like an ice cream shop, but they had like a little stage performance. It was like kind of like the those weird like little Precious Moments kids, but animatronic, called Georgie Porgy, and they would like sing to each other. Again, horrifying in retrospect. It's been gone forever. I think it's an anthropology now, the whole place. So, what
isn't?
No longer.
We had Fun Spot, made famous in the King of Kong documentary, which I feel like they don't touch on the fact that like that they did have there were serious arcade gamers that would go to Fun Spot, but the main demographic was children. So like, all the super serious Donkey Kong players were just surrounded by screaming 6-year-olds that I feel like did not make it into the documentary.
I think
so. When that guy's yelling, there's a kill screen coming up. He's yelling into 8-year-olds who don't know what anything is.
Billy Mitchell's hype man is just screaming at a bunch of children who
that guy, man. We were talking about this before you came on, like, because Kath mentioned this place. That guy, to me, is the villain of that. That guy, there's nothing in it for him. He's just a nasty little toady guy, just sucking up to Billy Mitchell. Mm-hmm. That guy's the worst guy in there, to me.
I would say the worst guy is Steve Wiebe is the worst guy.
Okay.
He has a Donkey Kong machine in his garage. He ignores his child for hours at a time. Why is he the good guy of Donkey Kong?
That's a really good point. The bar is very low in that movie for what constitutes a good guy.
Yeah, just guys trying to do any achievement.
His relentlessly supportive wife, he's just crying because he can't get a high enough score in the video game, and it's like, I know he really wanted this. It's like, man, these are some forgiving people that are putting up with this stuff.
That's the life she signed on for.
That's true.
Yeah. And a lot of people that are pursuing that sort of achievement, the whole idea of them is like the immortality of it. They're like, even when I'm gone, this will live on. And with Donkey Kong high scores, it's like, not really. Like, I don't even think it will. In fact, your family is probably a longer term, thing to focus on. Your legacy, like, more than the Donkey Kong scores.
Yeah. Better figure out how to ask that Donkey Kong machine to bring you medicine when you're... Now, here's one thing you brought up, Patty. Are ball pits gone forever now? Is that a thing that will never happen again?
I think now, especially, yes. I think I don't know what the... I don't know. Have you guys ever been in ball pits? I mean, you go down the slide, you go in the ball pit. Sure. When you're a little kid, it's fun. But yeah, I mean, unless they're individually
disgusting, though,
right?
Like even then, parents were like,
"Yeah, are they cleaning each ball, individually? Are they where do they store them? Like, they have like a big tub, and they like put them in the tub and then dump them back in once they're all clean, like a bailing out thing. Yeah, I mean,
is it going to be like one kid gets to go into a ball pit and then it's shut down for 3 days, and then they sterilize each ball, then. Ball pits will be very expensive. They will suddenly become a luxury that only the super rich can afford.
It's going to be, they're going to be only ball pits on Elysium and not down on Earth with everyone else.
Yeah,
there really is a chance that ball pits will be like the new sport of kings.
They're just going to have a bunch of full, like, rotational ball pits so that they empty it every night and put in the newly cleaned balls for the one child that gets to go in there the next day.
It's just, look, we can't give away our way of life. There, people die in car crashes, and if people have to get sick going in ball pits, that's the way that, this is what makes America great. We got to make sure we keep these ball pits going.
The one silver lining to this is I feel like we were almost reaching a point where adult ball pits were becoming a thing with all of these Instagram like fake museums where it's like It's about ice cream, but it's really just a bunch of backdrops for me to take pictures of myself. I feel like those places were like super into ball pits, and maybe those will go away. So that is one positive, but
like the My Little Pony Con where they had that fake little like the one ball pit that was like 3 feet by 3 feet. Do you guys?
Oh
remember
yeah,
that?
no, at the Tumblr convention.
Okay, whatever it was. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Oh, the failed. Yeah,
it was a kiddie pool full of balls in the middle of like an empty gymnasium.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah. Well, most of my experience with ball pits is McDonald's play places.
Yes.
And, like, that's just such it's like a small, uncontrolled country with no laws because it's in a McDonald's. And so McDonald's already not a place where people are known for eating, like, the right amount of food that makes them feel good. And there's always some kid in there that was just, like, his parents had just let him eat a 20-piece McNugget to win a bet with one of his friends, and then they pop him right in the ball pit, and he's just the illest child you've ever seen. And you're just like you're just chopping it up with, like Trentley or whoever the fuck this kid is. You're
accepting a high level of ketchup parts per million exposure. Way higher than normal if you're in that ball pit. Those things have a thin layer of ketchup on them.
This kid just chugged a 32-ounce soda cup filled with a little bit of every soda in the fountain, and then they throw him straight into an obstacle course. It's a chaotic place.
I will say we got the peak moment of any ball pit. We already got it, fortunately, and we got it on camera. Was Sheldon from Big Bang Theory popping out and saying Bazinga a bunch of times. So if we do have to, say goodbye to the ball pit. Yes, that's a classic moment from the television program The Big Bang Theory. You're not familiar?
It was one of the earliest uses of Bazinga on the show. If I remember.
Yeah. He was like, they kept trying to find him, and he kept popping out and saying Bazinga and then going away. I don't know. So that's it. We've already hit the peak. That's the platonic ideal of ball pit comedy. So I think if we have to say goodbye, that's how it goes.
Ball pit's now going to be for future generations. When you watch films of like Coney Island, and there would be people just like on a spinning thing that just threw them into the walls, or like the giant slide that seemed completely reckless and out of control. They just like go to the top of this thing and just slide down it and crash into each other. When they banned that at some point, and now ball pits are our equivalent of that.
Yeah. The person it was always a weird choice. Then they were like, what the safest thing to put around a child's kind of gymnasium equipment would be? Just sharp wood chips. Just a lot of sharp wood. Sure. That's going to pad the fall for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shards. That's what I want protecting me is shards.
A pool of shards, if possible.
If we're going to clean one kind of ball at these places, as long as we can keep the skee balls clean, I think we got to prioritize, right? That's my take anyway.
Man, skee ball's going to take so long now. Wipe down each ball.
Yeah,
once it goes through the little hole in the skee ball, it just drops directly into an autoclave that just superheats the skee ball, and then it comes out and you have to wait to touch it because it'll burn your hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like those bowling ball. I feel like this is one of the things where I either find out this is something that a lot of people wanted, or I find out that I was an extremely weird child yet again. That whenever I went to the bowling alley, I was obsessed with the bowling ball cleaner machine. And my parents got sick of it very quickly because they're like, we're not giving you money to go clean more bowling balls, you strange little goblin. Like, what are you doing? Eat your curly fries.
You're paying them to work here. That's not how this is. This is not.
You ever think about putting your head in one of those things? That's all I could think about as a kid, is like if somebody stuck their face into the bowling ball cleaner.
Yeah. Well, after about 2 more years, I could use it to really shine up my head, I think.
Yeah.
Like a nice thick wax. Pitbull throws his head in there. He's looking great for weeks. Just a nice turtle wax.
Sure. It's out on Miami Beach, pulls into the Strike and Spare. I would hope Pitbull would have his own ball polisher at this point. I think he's done well enough. Yeah. He doesn't have to go out. Yeah.
This is why you got to bring back cribs. See, it's already there. We've already got all the celebs are showing their homes on Zoom. We might as well just bring back cribs and just have people walk their laptops around. Mm-hmm. That's a slam dunk idea.
I'd watch that show.
That sounds like a Quibi idea.
Hey, get that on Quibi, Patty.
It's good. The video's vertical, but not really.
I'm gonna email Meg Whitman as soon as this ends. Nobody scoop me on this.
Yeah. Oh, I got punked by Chance the Rapper during a pandemic. Thank you, Quibi.
Should we do number two?
Let's do it. All right, so number two. Number two is a good story because it has a lot of good cop lingo in it, in my opinion. So, the headline here is "Trail of Stolen Meat Leads Officers to a Cookout in Progress." Police say. So this is in Fresno, California. I guess they responded to cops were called to a meat market at about 4:30 a.m. And they got there. They saw two people leaving. They also saw a trail of meat, which they followed to a nearby apartment, and they found some of the stolen meat being cooked for a gathering during a search of the apartment. So I don't know if Cookout in Progress is a code on the local police. It's like it's a 613. We got a Cookout in Progress.
I mean, we discussed the vast possibility of if I heard cops saying Cookout in Progress, I would just assume that is some very racist code that they use constantly.
That is also a fair point.
Yeah.
But yeah, they these people. There's like a group of people. They apparently not master criminals, leaving a trail of meat like you would do in a cartoon. Looks like we lost Kath. She'll be back in a minute here. But yeah, I don't know. I think as I'm imagining like a SWAT team. They're gathering in, they're gearing up in the van outside. It's like here's a trail of meat. We're ready. It's very late, 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're just all geared up and they all run in, use the battering ram to stop people from. Like on a Foreman grill or whatever it is. That's good use of resources.
I like the idea that they have lifted so much meat from this store that they can drop some of it enough to have a trail. Not even just like one or two. Like they are trailing meat behind them because they grabbed so much at 4:30 in the morning to supply this barbecue, which I'm assuming had a fair amount of people at it if you need that much meat.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, they're not sweating the meat if they're just letting that much hit the ground. They must have stolen a lot of meat, first of all.
Right.
Yeah. And this also seems like if it was the middle of the night, first of all, what constitutes a trail of meat? Like what are the increments that it's being dropped? And this sounds like they're not giving credit to some super entrepreneurial police dog that probably was the one that found the trail of meat. No cop is going to get on their hands and knees and notice there's little pieces of steak. That's something a dog figures out.
That is the unsung hero of this.
Maybe the criminals just assume that if they're in any sort of town where there's wilderness at all, they figured that this problem would solve itself. That naturally the stray dogs and cats of the neighborhood would. It's like
nature is healing.
It's like the ice bullet. It would just never be. It would vanish itself.
Right. You stab someone with an icicle. Right. There's a hawk will pick. An owl will pick this up, and we don't have to worry about it.
That is
an owl will pick up this package of bacon.
If I were really drunk at 4:30 in the morning, that is absolutely the logic I would be using. Surely a hawk will pick this up. That would absolutely be what crosses my mind. Trying to.
There must be some raptors around here.
Yeah.
Some sort of.
Hawks eat meat, right? Hawks will want this stuff.
We're helping.
Yeah.
Feeding the hawks.
Yeah.
Visually,
I'm imagining what?
Oh no, go ahead.
Visually, I'm imagining it is exactly as when you take a really big load of laundry out of the machine and you're walking and then a sock falls and you're just fucking, I'll pick it up once I get to my room. It's just that. Yeah, a hawk will get it and bring it to me. Yeah, I just imagine this sort of they're just little bits trailing off. But
there was a huge stolen meat scandal when I lived in Austin. There was they busted a stolen meat ring that was supplying all of the best barbecue places in the city. Except, like, not the up and up ones, not like Franklin, not the fancy written about in Food and Wine with Chuck E. Cheese ones, but all of the, like, regular barbecue places that were delicious were all using stolen meat. And it was like a huge crime ring of people stealing meat from H-E-B to fund all of these barbecue places.
We are making...
You guys got to check out Tiger King, because this guy had meat that he stole from the Walmart, from the dumpster, and then he made pizza out of it and fed the tigers with it. It's on Netflix. It's called Tiger King.
Oh, yeah. That's
Check
on
it out.
Track it down.
Netflix is free? Is Netflix free? How would I get into this?
I couldn't tell you. I watched from a Best Buy window. I was watching.
Yeah.
You guys see this show that I'm making my whole personality for the next 3 weeks? It's called Tiger King. It's pretty great. Yeah, I missed the window. I have a very narrow window on things, and then I immediately have an allergic reaction. I can't help it. But yeah, I don't know about a guy like abusing animals, and then I guess doesn't somebody get murdered or something? We talked about this story on the show like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
but
we scooped everybody. We
doesn't
told the
seem
Tiger
like-
King story in like 2018 or something.
Right. I think what sealed it for me when like the guy from the Daily Caller or whatever was asking Trump about like, would you pardon the Tiger King at the press conference or whatever. It's like, all right, that's enough. I think we've hit the limit on
I think it's
what
good.
my interest would be.
Yeah, fun goof, man. Thank you for bringing levity to our situation.
Yeah. He's a kooky guy who hired a hitman. Hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm also remembering now that meat robbery is a huge part of the film The Irishman. So maybe it is genuinely very,
That's true.
profitable.
Start.
It's a high value item, and you can dispose
It's a
of the
gateway
evidence
crime, which is what.
very quickly
Yeah.
by letting Hawks.
Yeah, it
use
was also a big plot point in the Stephen King JFK book.
Really?
One where
Oh yeah.
there's a time machine. There's a little time portal in the back of this diner, and the guy was always selling cheap hamburgers. Like he had the best hamburger meat. And it was so cheap. It's because he would go through the portal back to 1959 and buy hamburger meat for super cheap. He'd buy the best stuff and then bring it back to present day where he would make his hamburgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly mundane use of a time portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy tries to
business.
keep it simple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like that's a realistic one. If someone had a time portal, like they would absolutely use it for economic gain.
Yeah,
go back.
then the other guy was just like, I'm going to go stop the assassination of JFK. The guy's like, I'm just getting cheap hamburger meat through this thing.
Yeah, he's probably concerned. He's like, you can
Think
do whatever
smaller.
you want. Don't fuck up my hamburger thing.
Yeah.
Don't mess that up because I need that to keep going.
If you stopping the JFK assassination closes this portal and I can't get this burger meat, I'm gonna have to sell this. I'm out of here. I'm finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Or
out on
I'm
the
going to have
street.
to raise the prices of the burgers to like normal hamburger prices for every hamburger restaurant.
Yeah, but the razor thin profit margins. Yeah, going back to get hamburger meat before there was any regulation of it whatsoever. It was still allowed to be like 3 parts typhoid per 100. Just get that.
Yeah, but it's before they started doing the iodine wash or whatever they do every time before the factory farming. So it's probably
Yeah. It's like that. I feel like I've brought it up, but it's one of my favorite videos to see of like what's that British chef Jamie Oliver? Is that the guy with the spiky hair that does the?
That's one of them. There's also
He's like
is he the mean one or is he the nice one?
No, he's the nice one.
Okay, that's Jamie Oliver, I think.
Yeah.
Jamie
Where he
Oliver
tried-
also sometimes mean, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
There is
okay.
one where he does like a thing about like obesity and he like yells at fat people. It's not great.
Oh really?
Okay,
But
not
he's
great.
not Gordon
one-
He
Ramsay.
goes. He tries to like save towns, right? He's the one
Yeah.
who's just like, this
Yeah.
town is unhealthy. I'm going to get you guys eating salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes down to Dallas or Houston with like a big truckload of lettuce, and surprisingly, it doesn't work.
Yeah, then he just becomes the town villain, and everyone hates him.
Yeah, it's one of my. It's related to that. I think it might be from that show where he brings in a bunch of kids, and then he's like, "You guys like chicken nuggets, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, this is what they're made of." And he has a big bowl of that pink slime, and all the kids are like, "Gross." And then after he does that, he pulls out a huge platter of chicken nuggets, and he's like, do you guys still want the chicken nuggets now? And every kid is like, yes. And they just completely wreck the platter of chicken nuggets. Yeah. And he just has to stand there. He's like, oh, all right. It's like, what do you want, man? Nuggets are good.
Now, do you feel that with the president and when he has a buffet set up for college athletes to eat fast food, I think that's the one thing he's done correctly is that that's no kid wants to eat like chicken cordon bleu served on some plate. It's like, no.
A college athlete would be fucking psyched because they probably don't eat that much fast food, and they're like, the president told me I could eat this. They'd be very excited.
I'll also argue that college athletes eat a lot of fast food.
I guess they're still young. They don't have to worry too much about nutrition.
I ended up in some like football players when I was at Michigan, and they get like tickets they can use at just like the pizza place on campus, especially the big ones like offensive linemen or whatever, where they walk in the first day and they're like, they're like a 200-pound 18-year-old, and the coach immediately is like, you got to hit 300 pounds by the end of the season. Mm-hmm. You read what they eat, and most of them are eating smoothies that are made of like grits and like olive oil. Like they're not eating, lean chicken breasts. They're eating whatever will help them get to 4,000 calories a day.
I guess it depends on the type of athlete, but regardless, none of them are going to not be excited about a Big Mac from the president.
I don't need a shrimp cocktail ice sculpture. Just give me burgers. That's what I want.
Yeah, look, of course, there's class and race issues loaded in the idea the president thinks this is what they want. But it is what I would want. I can only say
it's what the president wants. That's like what he eats, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he eat like he has like a weird doesn't he eat like only fillet of fish or something like insane?
Yeah.
I think you're mistaking him for me.
There's that one picture of him from like the first time he did it where he's like holding his arms out wide with the huge platter with a big smile on his face, and he looks like, if you've ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn when the guy lets all the bats in, like when he turns around and he's got his arms wide and because he turns into a vampire without you realizing it, and then he turns around and he's got the vampire face. That's like exactly the same image.
Yeah, he's like the Willard of hamburgers. He's just king.
Donald Trump's like his photo composition is really incredible. It is like unprecedented from a president. He is always dead center in the middle of a like freakishly symmetrical picture. It's like every picture he takes looks like The Shining. Like,
He just occupies.
Like things are really bad, but you lose sight of also just how like equally weird everything has to be all the time. Like it's just a very strange kind of unreality that everything is.
Yeah, the White House photographer trying to explain the rule of thirds to Donald Trump.
It's not
It'll
happening.
actually get more attention if he's in the right quadrant of the photo. I mean, I think even food-wise, like even if the government had a program where they were going to send everybody food, I think most people would not want, if you got a thing from the government and it was like, here you go, it's a skinless turkey and quinoa, they'd be like,
send everybody chicken nuggets.
Do you want
remember how mad everybody got at Michelle Obama for like suggesting that kids maybe don't need to eat total garbage at school lunches?
Yeah.
I was like, nope, she's going down.
And then like an exercise program for kids that was entirely centered around jumping jacks, which I'm still convinced aren't a real exercise. Like, I think jumping jacks are just a way to make the fattest kid in the school jiggle for everyone's amusement. Like, I can't see any way that burns calories.
It's just to make people who live downstairs upset. That's what it is.
That's true. Yeah. Currently, that's the main use.
It's a psyop.
Do all exercises that involve a lot of flopping around. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Did the people who stole this meat, did they successfully have their barbecue, or are they in jail now?
There's a list of like 15 people that got arrested. I don't know what I guess they're all guilty until found out. Like they're all being charged with theft, even though like it's unlikely that all 20 of them went to the place to steal. So
that's
I guess they're
fun time to bring your whole barbecue to steal meat.
Conspiracy to commit petty theft. I don't know. Obviously this was some, the hot dog roll neck, like roided up SWAT guys coming in and stopping this. So obviously not funny from that perspective, but I love the idea of just the trail of meat is very
good.
we got a cookout in progress. We got just that's good.
Yeah, 100%. Just tackling somebody. I have the barrel of an M4 in the base of my neck because I went to an unsanctioned barbecue. But
now, do they have to put the meat in that locker in the police station? Is that like a problem?
Yeah.
Like the evidence room?
There's an evidence freezer. They have a separate one in Texas for all the meat. The Flintstone style big ribs, like the dinosaur ribs.
Yeah, the evidence locker
freezer.
And then the refrigerated evidence locker.
Yeah, one of the cops ate one of the racks of ribs by accident. They have to fill out all this paperwork now.
That's also where they put, when the guy hanging in the meat truck in Goodfellas, he goes in the evidence freezer as well until they can do the autopsy. That's where they store the stuff like that.
Yeah. There's another tip for if you want to help out an employee of Trader Joe's, ask them to get any of the frozen food out of the back, because that was you'd be like, oh, cool. And then you go stand in the freezer for 10 minutes, and that's your break. That's how you have some fun.
That sounds good.
Go sit on a big bag of frozen orange chicken and think about your life. It's the highlight of my days.
All right, should we do number one?
Let's do it. Number one this week. This is an old story that has recently been unearthed in Andrew Bennett's new book about Eddie Van Halen called "Eruption in the Canyon: 212 Days and Nights with the Genius of Eddie Van Halen." This is about Eddie Van Halen. Really, at the time when you really want to know about Eddie Van Halen, the period between 2004 and 2007. Just a good time.
When they're at their peak.
Yeah. Exactly. So the memoir features several anecdotes taken directly from Eddie himself, including the following, which is a story about his dealings with Fred Durst in I believe this is 2001. So this is an as told to, I guess, to this guy. So apparently Eddie Van Halen met Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit fame at a party in 2001, and a record executive suggested naturally that they should work together. Of course, just a completely sensical collaboration.
And this is Chocolate Starfish era Fred Durst. Do I have the timeline right on that?
Yeah,
I believe
2001. They're huge.
Yeah. And apparently this is immediately after Wes Borland has left, so they are in need of a guitarist.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Wes Borland, not enough for them to let him dress up in corpse paint by himself every show.
Yeah.
Decided he finally was going to join a band that he wanted to be in.
I'm sure Fred Durst asked if Eddie Van Halen could wear the contacts if he wanted to be in the band. To Fred Durst's credit, apparently what he said when this was suggested was, that would be hilarious, the greatest guitar player ever with the worst band ever. So, Fred Durst just knows, where his bread is buttered, I guess. So, apparently, Van Halen thought this was, very funny, so it was like, sure, yeah, let's do it. Let's at least, have a jam session. Why not? So he goes to Fred Durst's house in Beverly Hills, naturally, and they set up a jam session. Unfortunately, Eddie Van Halen was not okay with what was going on at this jam session. Apparently, too many people were smoking weed, and Eddie said that it was like, quote, being a scholar amongst kindergartners. So,
okay,
not thrilled.
All right, man. Also, chill. But yeah.
That is a really weird complaint. Of all complaints, too many people are smoking weed at Limp Bizkit's house.
Right, because being not smart as a kindergartner is the kindergartner's fault. Also, that's not. Why aren't you a scholar?
You decided to go hang out
kid?
with Limp Bizkit.
Right.
Yeah. Stated as a joke. Also, you're going to have a jam session with someone to whom my knowledge plays no instruments. What did you think was going to happen
He plays the backwards red Yankees cap, all right? That's his instrument.
He's just going to rap over you shredding, I guess. So, apparently, Eddie then left, because he was like, too many people smoking weed here, I don't like it. So he left, without all of his equipment. He'd, brought a bunch of equipment over, and after that, he claims he repeatedly reached out to Durst in an effort to recover his property. But old Limp Bizkit didn't return his calls, so Eddie decided to hop in an assault vehicle he purchased at a military auction and drive over to Durst's home. He parks it on the lawn, and according to witnesses, he, quote, got out wearing no shirt, his hair in a samurai bun on top of his head, his jeans held up with a strand of rope, and combat boots held together by duct tape. And he pulled a gun on Fred Durst and, quote, I put my gun to that stupid fucking red hat of his, and I said, where's my shit, motherfucker? The guy turned to one of his employees and starts yelling to him to grab my shit. So apparently this was resolved, however, in a very theatrical way, with a very vivid picture of what Eddie Van Halen looked like at the time.
This is the second definition of pulling an OJ. This is the thing that got OJ actually put in jail, was robbing the guy of the memorabilia at gunpoint. Yeah. Not the other thing, obviously. The second definition.
Whenever Eddie, I think it was in either Sammy Hagar said it or David Lee Roth. I can't remember who said it. Somebody who was in Van Halen and then was out of Van Halen said that whenever Eddie would be truly crazed, he would dress like a samurai. He would do that samurai thing when he was truly out of his mind. So this makes, as soon as you mentioned Eddie Van Halen and the time period, I was going to say, is this about him dressed like a samurai? And then thankfully it went right where I thought it was going to go, that he had his hair pulled in the samurai style.
Yeah.
It's a real shame he didn't come with a sword then. That would have been very exciting.
Well, let's be honest, he's also completely ignoring the code of the samurai. Yeah. So he's not even trying that hard. I don't know his whole like drug history. I mean, this seems very drug fueled, but that just makes
the right kind of drug, apparently.
Yeah, for him to be funny. For him to be like, you guys are smoking pot, stop it. It's like, what is he, mad that that's all they're smoking? I don't know. Yeah. It's like,
it was unprofessional to him, I guess, somehow.
Yeah. This guy was in Van Halen, a band that just lived off of that image. And
like to be like, hey guys, stop smoking weed. It's gonna ruin your life? And it's like, well, whatever you're on has you pretending you're in the, pretending you're a Ronin. So maybe
whatever you're on has you buying
fine.
Assault vehicles at military auctions.
Yeah. I will say weed will make you buy a sword, 100%. So it's not without fault.
I had a totally different image of this in my mind before you said he went to Fred Durst's house. I thought Fred Durst was going to go to Eddie Van Halen's house and just be in the Alfred Molina scene from Boogie Nights. Like, that's what I thought we were, like a guy throwing firecrackers in the back randomly. Yeah. Eddie Van Halen in a bathrobe, just waving a gun around. Just like, it's like, oh, okay. This is.
I mean, the outfit that is described is like almost Alfred Molina and Boogie Nights. Like, there is no kimono, but there is pants held up by rope, and a samurai bun and no shirt. Like, I feel like that's just another, like, Alfred Molina in that movie. It's like they caught him on that day when he was in that outfit, but if they'd gone the next day, he would be in the Eddie Van Halen outfit.
Sure. Okay.
I love that Eddie Van Halen apparently has like a way for people that know him to tell that he's like really on one. Like the fact that somebody could go into another room and be like, he's in the samurai stuff. So like, play it cool. Yeah. Like, don't agitate him if you can. He's
not
samurai
gonna be a good
mode.
day today. You're pulling in, and then somebody just goes, "The samurai."
So like, code samurai.
Let me just brace myself.
Yeah. It's like your dad gets home from work and then he walks in and you're like, uh-oh. Like, dad's in the samurai outfit. This is like, everyone just like, don't make him mad. Just like, please. It's crazy.
Eddie needs someone to drive him over to the Limp Bizkit rehearsal space.
I also love that he apparently brought a huge kit to jam with Fred Durst. Again, I mean, he does not play instruments. And like, so what, how many pedals do you need to go jam with Fred Durst? Like, he's bringing like a Marshall full stack over to make sure that they get the correct sound for his possible collaboration with just Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Another thing about this that is a very good sort of like counter narrative side note is apparently this all happened while someone was attempting to film a documentary about him. And so there is like some footage of this, and then the guy who was making the documentary eventually got sued by Van Halen because they were like, "You cannot release this. This footage can't come out." So
that's up there with like the Werner Herzog getting shot footage from like this is an incredible thing that happened during the filming of the documentary. That is unrelated to the topic of the documentary. Yeah,
it's in a vault with all the other forbidden footage of like who's the guy who got shot by accident? Like it's just all locked in there.
Yeah,
it's,
the Crow.
Yeah, it's
with Brandon Lee. Jesus, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's that, and then Eddie Van Halen dressed as a samurai screaming on Fred Durst's lawn.
Yeah.
I want to read this. I want to read this 2004 to 2007 Eddie Van Halen retrospective just to see that if Eddie Van Halen phone banks for Obama at any point during this. Takes out the bun and does his service.
Like what do we think they were they jamming on? Like were they doing like Limp Bizkit was going to do a cover of like Love Walks In? But then, because this happened, they changed their mind and they did Behind Blue Eyes. They wanted like a slow song from a rock band, and that's what changed it. Like,
I think they probably did Walk This Way once, and then they were like, I think that's all we can do. This is like our only song that really uses both of our skill sets here.
Walk This Way is Aerosmith. Sorry, not to
I know, but it's a rap rock collaboration with Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of songs that they could cover that would have both rap and rock in them.
You do like Hot for Teacher is kind of Limp Bizkit-y.
1 Week by Bare Naked Lady.
Yeah, they released their own version of Honkin' on Bobo, the covers album.
Yeah. Now, is it wrong that I think that Eddie Van Halen, I think he's a colossal disappointment and he did not fulfill any of his potential at all? When you think of They made a bunch of records that were always 25 minutes long and always had a dumb cover on every one of them and a novelty song on them. And then that went on for 6 years, and then they broke up, and then they made bad records with Sammy Hagar, and that's literally all this guy ever did.
That is kind of wild to think about, that he has the legacy he has based on, like, maybe eventually
4
being
albums.
Better.
Yeah.
The legacy.
Is that wrong? Am I hurting feelings with that? I'm sorry.
Not our feelings.
I'm fine. You know,
he has a pretty strong legacy of special edition guitars that are for sale. That you can get.
I think
Just
he's
that
more
one paint job.
He's more influential to like the masking tape community than to the rock community.
Yeah,
he showed what you can do with a nice roll of tape on a guitar.
Yeah. He's had more influence on modern design. CBT owes him. I mean, CB2 owes him more credit than anything for just figuring out their aesthetic of strong lines.
I like that Fred Durst was wearing the red hat. If that story is to be taken literally, like he's, that was him, man. That was not. He didn't get home and time to take off his costume. Nope, that's it.
Well, I will say like one thing Eddie Van Halen is good at when coherent is spinning a yarn. So if he wasn't wearing the red hat, Eddie knew to say he was wearing the red hat. Right. That is something he is talented at.
Sure. No, that is a good detail, and you're there when you can see the red hat.
Yeah.
The red Yankees cap that was maybe the weirdest creation in the history of sportswear ever. It's just like, what if we took this Yankees thing, which has never been red once, and other teams have red in their name of their team, like the Reds or the Red Sox, and they're just like, well, our thing's red now too. It's very strange.
Where's Fred Durst from? I'm guessing Florida, like Jacksonville
Florida.
area. Yeah, okay.
I just
He's
Googled
a Florida
him.
Guy.
He's from Gastonia, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But he did his growing up in Florida.
Oh, okay. There you go.
He's as Florida as you can get.
That was like, I mean, the influence of...
So, Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, and then North Carolina.
Yeah.
So
the influence of that part of Florida looms very large over the late 90s. Like Marilyn Manson and all those guys were down there.
Even all the boy bands are from Florida. Like, they got both sides of it.
Yeah, Disney, the all the Britney Spears, Timberlake, from the Mickey Mouse Club and all that
Florida
stuff. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
People don't want to admit how much of the U.S. is constantly shaped by Florida. Like they don't want to give it up. It's like
all our elections.
All of our elections are decided by Florida. The 40, almost all the countries just kind of canceling each other out, and then Florida is just making the choices for everyone under the radar. They're just one, we don't want to admit that they're the tastemakers. They're powerful tastemakers as a state. Yeah, I like to imagine too that Fred Durst has at night he changes out of his red Yankees cap into a similar red Yankees nightcap with like a long, folded over.
Instead of a candle on a plane, it's just a big blunt that's lit.
Yeah, in a little tin.
A blunt in a tin. Yeah. That's why Van Halen got mad. Someone was bringing him his blunt on a tin, and it got too close to Van Halen's face. He was afraid he might accidentally get high.
Yeah, he was really worried about that. That was the big problem. He didn't want to accidentally get high.
Yeah.
No, he was the one that was he was married to Valerie Bertinelli, right? Is that him?
Yes.
Is it weird to anyone else how much they look alike?
Van
I never
Halen?
thought about it.
They look very similar. They have very similar like head shapes and hair to me. Like it's just kind. I don't know.
Their eyes are very similar. Also,
yeah.
Now I have to.
It's
look
like Milhouse's parents on The Simpsons. Like, are they not related? They are the same. There's a girl and boy version of the same person, and they're not related.
That's why Milhouse's eyesight is so fucking bad. They just won't admit it.
He also has inbred. He has hip dysplasia and other problems that are from his genetic. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm looking them up, and I see what you're saying. It's like they have the same haircut, which is a problem. It doesn't make them look different. Same haircut and same.
You're going a little rowboat. Okay.
And she was like a child actress or something, I think. And obviously she was older than that when they got together, but she was like an America's Sweetheart type, I think. And it's like the bad boy rock star or something. I don't know.
Wow, they were married for a long time.
There, but
I don't know if we can be too surprised that Eddie Van Halen's ideal partner is Eddie Van Halen. Just looking for a similar.
Important to note, they were married at the time that he was putting a gun to Fred Durst's head. They were still married at that point.
Maybe she gassed him up to go over there. Maybe he didn't want to do it. And
does she also?
You got to stick up for yourself.
Does he make her dress up like a samurai? Also, is this like a whole thing?
Yeah, he's not a Ronin. He actually responded to her, as a samurai. She was his.
Yeah. She's his lord. Complete control.
Eddie Van Halen, best of luck to him. I'm sure he's doing well in the quarantine, wherever he is.
Hot for teacher. Check it out.
He's getting on Zoom with the samurai bun and just causing havoc.
So that's thank you again, Tom. Do you want to, I neglected to mention early on, but you have a very funny, great new podcast called Double Threat with Julie Klausner, who is also a hilarious person. That's on Forever Dog. I really loved the first few episodes. Very funny stuff.
Oh, thank you so much. It's fun, and to do stuff with Julie is the best. And we just did an episode with Chris Gethard and Robin Colombo from McMillions. We figured we'd kind of smash them together. And have
that's fun.
The mob wife and Chris Gethard in the same show.
So, and you had Martha Kelly earlier, who was great.
Fun. Yeah, she's hilarious.
And the thing I love about that show is that it's just like you guys get sent things and then get to just go off on them, which is I love that. That's like my favorite.
I've learned so much from your podcast, including that Harvey Weinstein was in a Barbie movie.
Yes, Harvey Weinstein in a Barbie movie.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no, that was truly horrifying, and I think it's just going to feed into the worst of humanity that we get sent dozens of things that will just make us sad. And it will end up being a problem in the end. But right now it's super fun, and I'm glad we're doing it.
Surely there won't be a dark side to entertainment
Yes.
that we can reach.
Yeah.
We did some accidental research on Jeepers Creepers and found out there's a lot of bad stuff about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was a real bummer.
The dark history of Jeepers Creepers.
The controversy tab on the Jeepers Creepers Wikipedia page.
Yeah, and obviously also Tom's.
That the guy who did Powder. Did he do Jeepers Creepers?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Did he also do
Victor
Powder?
Salva.
He's in jail is the main thing, or he was, or he should be is the issue.
Yeah, he went to jail for 3 years and then got out on half of that after doing sex crimes to children, and then made Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
So
that was the
Second
follow-up
chances.
project to Sex Crimes.
you know.
Was Jeepers Creepers.
So there's Double Threat, and then obviously the best show. I mean, there's not much else to say about the best show. It's the best show.
It's the best.
No, you're sweet. Thank you
It's
so
on
much.
It's on Patreon. Definitely support it. It's some of the richest lore. It's a titanic amount of stuff over the years, and it's been a constant companion for me. Sorry, I don't mean to suck up or anything. I'm just it's one of the best
nice things. I'm going to make you be mad. You're saying a nice thing to me.
Shut the fuck up, Daddy.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And thanks again for doing the show. Is there anything else you want to plug or anything?
No, I just want to tell everybody to stay safe and have a good one.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
Thanks so
everybody.
much. I really appreciate it.